This story broke later on Friday, so obviously we did not get a crack at it during Friday's show, and I appreciate you letting me speak about it now. This is the stance, this supports the stance that I had initially that I took a whole lot of heat for. And my basic question was, how could the NCAA leap to a conclusion to punish Penn State with what I thought was worse than a death penalty by using the report that was commissioned by Penn State and not giving Penn State any appeal process or any second guess of this at all? And the source that is quoted in this story was basically horrified by the fact that this study was not meant to completely condemn Penn State because it was incomplete, because the Freeh report investigators did not get to interview to get the side of Joe Paterno or Schultz or Curley, the key perpetrators here. You don't hear their side in the report, what they knew and didn't know, what they did and didn't do, why and why not. So in the end, you had one man who now runs the NCAA leaping to this conclusion, and that conclusion being accepted by the one man who is now the new president of Penn State University, one man on one man, using an incomplete Freeh report with no appeals process, I thought was outrageously out of line. The floor is yours.
Once again, I respect the position that you're coming from, because I know that the foundation for your empathy evolves around those who are innocent, that had nothing to do with this, that are suffering. And I respect that. I truly do. I choose, however, as you well know, to focus on the fact that children were molested, and that for 14 years, the former defensive coordinator, a two-time champion as a defensive coordinator under Joe Paterno, and Joe Paterno's right-hand man, was allowed to run rampant on campus, and nothing was done, close to nothing. That's where I focus on. I don't care what this individual has to say. I don't care what anybody who disagrees with the penalties that were handed down has to say. And I think that anybody who believes for 1 second that the NCAA's decision to impose these stiff penalties upon Penn State's football program and the university itself evolves completely around the 267-page report that former FBI Director Louis Freeh delivered and disseminated to us all, is missing the boat. They're not just relying on that. The president of Penn State University wasn't relying just on that, and neither specifically was Mark Emmert, the president for the NCAA. They were relying on the report. They were relying on the trial of Jerry Sandusky, that disgusting, despicable human being known as the former defensive coordinator, who will rot in jail for the rest of his natural life, and hopefully the Lord will deal with him appropriately. That dude, that guy was there. He had a trial. Details came out during the trial. Further details came out from the Freeh report. Joe Paterno was on the record saying that he should have done more. There's nothing to discuss. As far as I'm concerned, the lives of children take precedent over any and all individuals in this particular sequence. And while we are at it, when you want to bring up individuals, let's also bring up the name Franco Harris. And I'm going to sit there and say what it is. He was on Outside the Lines last week. I was ashamed of the level of ignorance coming out this man's mouth. What I want to say to him, I'm not allowed to say over FCC airwaves. It's despicable, it's ridiculous, it's ignorant, it's stupid. And more importantly, the level of flagrant insensitivity that he and others who support him have exhibited in this entire ordeal is nothing short of disgusting. This is an honorary member of the Second Mile, which is the foundation that Jerry Sandusky was under, that he founded and obviously used clearly to recruit kids that he could commit just these disgusting acts against. I don't want to hear from these people. They mean nothing to me. Children were molested. People have to pay. And whoever has to pay, so be it. I don't care.
Well, Skip, should the school at all worry that, let's say they did fight this Freeh report, they were in that position, or fight the NCAA, what kind of message would that have sent to the public at large? Maybe people would look at them like they weren't being sympathetic to the victims.
Yeah, there's a way to do that because, Stephen A., you just made the point. I agree 1,000% with everything you just said about Sandusky, and I've agreed from the start because I don't want to seem insensitive here.
I know you do.
But
I know you do.
The point is, as you clearly pointed out, the criminal justice system of this country took hold of this situation, and it ran its course. And as you said, Sandusky will rot in jail. Thank you. That's how this country is supposed to work. But to me, all of a sudden, we went over the edge with a very emotional reaction to Sandusky and thought that the whole institution of Penn State, many innocent bystanders, including all the kids on the football team and the new coaching staff, were getting punished for 4 long years with the equivalent, or maybe even worse than a death penalty. And it's just unfair. It's an apple to an orange. The wrong people are getting punished here. The right people are getting punished in the court of law.
Well, listen, to me, there are no wrong people when you consider the fact that if it were not for the football program and the university and Coach Paterno's desire to give off the perception of purity and how we're above reproach all of those other years, it would not have come to that. It's directly related to the football program.